In this video, how to make a custom wheel and why. So I'm using a standard 20-inch rim, and I custom made the hub by designing and 3D printing the center, and then takes these two steel sheets to attach the spokes to the center. The spokes had to be cut to a custom length and then threaded. I'm gonna show the tool that I use to thread. On my website you can find the list of parts if you want, just to see the list, and also I'll share the files if you want to manufacture the things that I designed, like this 3D printed hub and these cut metal sheets. So why am I making a custom wheel? The reason is I wanted to design the wheel and hub and all the suspension that would be sort of like in a car. And the bike wheels are designed mostly to use with a fork, whilst in a car there is a hub that will rotate and this part attaches to the wheel. So I wanted it this way, and the most similar thing I could find in the market for bikes were wheels for recumbent trikes, which I thought were just so expensive. So this was an opportunity to redesign, to make it affordable, and also to meet exactly the criteria that I was looking for. So I'm gonna show how all these parts were made and how to put them all together, and then how it works in the end. I'm using a standard 20-inch rim with 20 spokes. I just painted it black because I think it looks a little bit better. So let's just look at the painting process for a little bit. First, I'm just sanding it for the primer to stick better. Then I'll just prime it. After priming, I'll sand it to take out the irregularities of the paintbrush. Let's then put some black paint on. And let's sand it again, just to take out the irregularities again. And then in the end, let's polish it to make it smooth. The spokes have to be shorter than the original ones because the hub has a larger diameter. I calculated that they have to be 12 centimeters long, so I'll use these spokes, 14 gauge, from an old 20-inch wheel and cut them to size. Then just a little bit of rounding of the tip to make the threading easier. Now, to thread the spokes, I'm using this tool. I'm putting a link in the description that is specific for threading spokes. It actually doesn't cut like if you were threading a screw, but it presses the metal into a thread so that it doesn't lose strength. You can regulate the opening with this nut, and just as when the spoke doesn't go through, the opening should be sufficient. If after making the thread it doesn't look deep enough, just give it another half turn to make it tighter. Alright, 20 spokes threaded. The hub has 3 parts. A centerpiece that exists to create the width wanted, and 2 discs that are made to attach to the center using M5 bolts, and then you can slip the spokes through there and attach them to the wheel, and this is how the wheel gets secured. The center is 3D printed. It's pressed by the discs, and I believe it will not be subject to forces that will destroy it. The 2 discs are cut out of 2mm steel sheet. For the first wheel, I used my CNC milling machine to cut the steel sheet. I like to do things myself, and it was pretty cool, but I must say to the CNC milling hobbyists out there, this is not actually milling. My machine doesn't have the rigidity to mill, which would be that on every spin of the milling bit it would cut a certain piece of steel, and then the speed and the rotation would match in a way that this happens, and it's called milling in the end. But this is all my machine can do, is actually grinding. This will make the piece sort of by the end, but I destroyed the milling bit, and it took a couple of hours to cut this sheet. In the end, I finished it off by hand and painted it. For the second wheel, I ordered both discs laser cut and powder coated black from PCBWay. All you have to do to get a quote from their website is upload the step files, which I'm making available on my website, and you can get an instant quote for your design and fabricating options. The price is very good compared to other suppliers that where I got quotes, and I must say the quality is pretty awesome. It's cut to I mean, such a high quality, and the powder coating looks, just incredible. PCBWay offered these parts to me free of charge in exchange for me to mention them in my video. I must say I really appreciate it. On one hand, helping me with the project by, offering the parts, and on another hand, trusting me to promote their brand. And that's very cool. So thank you for the parts and for the trust. All right, let's put it all together. So I'll use these M5 bolts and nuts to put it together. Alright, this is it. This is how the custom hub looks like. Then we'll again put the spokes through here, and you can see that the holes from the spokes are alternating from one side to the other. So 10 spokes on this side, 10 spokes on the other side. Alright, let's put this in the rim. What I'm doing now is I'll use the Trike hub to fix the wheel and be able to rotate it. We can see that the wheel is not so straight, but as I tighten the spokes, I'll also true the wheel. When the rim is bent to one side, I tighten the spoke that pulls to the other side. After some tightening and truing, it's good enough. And this would be one way of making a wheel with a custom hub. I hope you had fun watching and that this was maybe even useful. In the next video, I'll have a totally new suspension and steering, and I'll show a bunch of driving tests. In the meantime, have fun